Okay, this is a video going over the basis and foundations of a character creation system in a game project we're working on in Roblox Studio. So we'll start out with going over some visual basics here. We'll have a couple presets on the side with the color picker. I see that this is fully functional and we can randomize this. Right. We'll stick with the preset though. Moving on to the hair now, you'll see that some icons will have this, or some assets, I should say, have this colorable icon. And this just means that the asset is tintable, right? And we can change the color of these. And then the others that don't have the icon, they aren't tintable and they just come as they are, right? And so the purpose of this is because Roblox, when we get this asset, we can also get we can extract the albedo texture of this, right? So let's say for these blonde tips, we can take that albedo texture and we can isolate the blonde and we can just add another layer over it and just make the blonde white. That way we can tint it. Graphics works that way. If you have a white value being 255 or 1 FFF, whatever white is, the value that you want to use, you're able to multiply different RGB values and tint it. And that's how tinting is working here, which is pretty cool. So we'll just change something like this. We don't have any face assets yet, but it'll work more or less the same way. The color picker will probably just change the eye color instead. So let's say you had a glowing eye face or something like that. The color picker would be able to change that color. Cool. And we'll just go here. Much of the same thing here. Different outfits that are tintable, using that same pattern there with the white and just changing the color. I'll go back to white and we'll use this. And same thing with the pants here too. We'll just go for a straight white. How about that? And we have jackets as well, which is pretty cool. And all these assets in the game now, they have the creator's name attached to them for credit. And we'll probably end, these are just placeholders right now, and we'll probably have our own assets, but this is just placeholders here. And in case they are used in the game, they have the creator's name attached to them, and we'll have credit. Okay, now to the more non-visual side of things. You're able to choose your origin, and different origins can give you different attributes. And this is using a page layout, so me scrolling was able to kind of rotate through there. But we see you have some text here and the attributes that they provide, each origin provides. And this is important because the idea is that attributes kind of affect your stats, and they scale with your level, and they affect your abilities, and they kind of shape out your build and your playstyle. So you kind of want to pay attention to these. I see we have the human, we have metahuman, mystics, and mutants. We'll just go with the human because they're well balanced. And now we have an archetypes. And archetypes are more, they kind of go into your build a little bit more, right? We have some things that are called specs or specializations, which kind of will further out, flesh out your build and your play style, right? So, for example, we have a brute archetype here, and that's like a melee archetype. Those are your melee archetypes, and they get an extra constitution per level, 2 strength per level, and they get some more melee strength, max health, and mental, a debuff to mental fortitude, just for balancing. But abilities work in the sense that they'll take everything into consideration, your stats, your attributes, and your specs, and the server will perform a calculation based on those numbers, and the output will be based off of all of what I've mentioned, right? So this is important to kind of build out a playstyle that you really want. And yeah, so we have also Ranger, which is your ranged, obviously. They're more dexterous, they have more range damage, critical hit chance, and a debuff to melee damage and control strength. These specs aren't set in stone. These are just like an idea of what is provided, or what specs will look like, and how archetypes will kind of be laid out as. Then you have the controller, which is more CC and crowd control. Well, CC is crowd control, but these are your debuffs, stuns, and things like that. So very important to have in groups and in your team. Yeah. And then we have defenders, which are kind of your protectors in your group, and they get these specs here. And yeah, so there will be more specs in Origins. Like I said, this is just a foundation for how these things will look and play out. But we'll go ahead and go with the controller. And we'll see here, this page will be for abilities, selecting your starting abilities. And yeah, we're also probably gonna have like a loadout system, so to kind of swap abilities on the fly. We kind of want to make this expansive. The idea is to have it be expansive and interactive. We want each archetype to feel important and to feel impactful. And so we're looking at ways to do that as efficiently as possible. So we're going to type in the name here and we'll wrap this up. This detail screen will eventually have all of your abilities that you've selected, your origin, your archetype, and things of that nature here. Like I said, this is just a foundation video for how this will look. And as you see, here's the character we've made. Right, and this is the CC dummy we're working on. The CC dummy is just local to us. No one else can see this here. It's the benefit of having the local side of things and the server side of things. But yeah, here's the character. And I'll go into detail about this ability bar, which changes based off if you're on controller or keyboard, and the ability system. And we'll go over some scripts as well.